Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're making the best crochet ruffle hat base ever. I'm using red heart yarn in the shade white, aka Blanco, and this is a weight 4 worsted weight yarn. Additional materials will be measuring tape to measure out our elastic, 1mm elastic for our base in round 12, some scissors to cut our elastic, as well as a 5mm crochet hook. And I personally made this hook using links that you can find in my Amazon storefront. For this tutorial, we're going to be starting off by doing the magic circle. If you prefer to do the chain 4 slip stitch into the next stitch method, you can. I just prefer to do a magic circle. I also prefer to pull that short tail through the front of my magic circle. That's just a preference. You don't have to. Next, we're going to do a chain 2. This chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. It's only used to build length for the double crochet stitch that we'll be using in this base. Once you have your chain 2 done, proceed by putting 12 double crochets inside of your magic circle. I'm going to meet you guys when I have all 12 of my double crochets into my magic circle. Once all 12 double crochets are in your magic circle, you're going to pull your circle closed. You see how it's open a little bit? Pull it tight to where it's closed and you can't see through it, but not tight to where you break it. Then you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. I do crochet over my yarn tails. That's a personal preference because I don't like weaving in ends after the project. And this is what your base will look like at the end of round 12. For round 2, we're going to start off with a chain 2. And for this round, we're going to start increasing to make our base bigger. So we're going to be putting 2 double crochets inside of our magic circle. Again, you don't have to crochet over your yarn tails. That's just a preference. Before this round, we'll put 2 double crochets inside of each stitch. You should end this round with a total of 24 stitches. Once you have all 24 double crochets in your round, you're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 2 that we did to start our round. This is how you'll end all your rounds. And this is what your hat will look like at the end of round 2. Round 3 is going to start off with a chain 2, guys. And for this round, we're going to continue increasing. So our first stitch is going to have 2 double crochets inside that first stitch. That is our increase stitch. And then our next stitch will only have 1 double crochet. So you're going to put 2 double crochets in one stitch and then 1 double crochet inside the next stitch. You're going to repeat this all the way around, and you should end this round with 36 stitches. Please count your stitches. You don't want to have too many or too little at the end of your round. Once you have all 36 stitches in your round, you are going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 to end your round, guys. And this is what your base will look like at the end of round 3. For round 4, we're going to start off with a chain 2. That's nothing new. And we're going to continue to increase. So in our first stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets inside of that one stitch. That's our increase stitch. Next, we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next stitch, followed by 1 double crochet in the stitch after that. So the cadence for this row is 2 double crochets inside of one stitch, 1 double crochet inside one stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the stitch after that. You're going to repeat this all the way around until you get to the end of your round. And again, you should end this round with a total of 48 stitches. Once you have all 48 stitches inside your round, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 to end your round. And this is what your base will look like after round 4. For round 5, we're going to start off with a chain 2. And our first stitch is going to be our increase stitch. So we're going to be putting 2 double crochets inside of that one stitch. Next, we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the stitch after that, and in the final stitch, we're going to put 1 double crochet. So the cadence for round 5 is going to be 2 double crochets in one stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in the next stitch, and 1 double crochet in the stitch after that. You're going to repeat this process all the way around, and you should end this round with a total of 60 stitches, guys. Once you have all 60 stitches inside of your round, you are going to slip stitch into the top of your chain 2 to end your round. And this is what your base will look like at the end of round 5. Next, we're going to do our measurements. For my adult size bases, I prefer my base to be at least 5.5 inches before I stop increasing. Since we're at the 5.5 mark, we're going to be done increasing. For round 6, we're going to start off with a chain 2. For round 6, we are only going to be putting 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. 1 double crochet. For round 6, we start off with a chain 2, 1 double crochet in each stitch, and then we're going to also repeat this process for rounds 7 through 11, guys. 1 double crochet in each stitch. Once you have all 60 stitches at the end of your round, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2. You're going to do this to end all your rounds from 7 through 11. This is what your base is going to look like at the end of round 6. It's curving up because we stopped doing increases. This is normal. It's getting its shape for the hat. You're going to repeat round 6, like I said, 5 times, and I'm going to meet you all back when it's time for round 12 to go ahead and add our elastic to our ruffle hat base. Okay, guys, for round 12, you want to cut out at least 20 inches of elastic. This is 1mm elastic. It's linked in my Amazon storefront. The link will be in the description below. But I prefer to cut out 20.5, but this one is just under 20.5. But you need at least 20 inches for an adult size hat. Now we're getting ready to add it. So we're going to start round 12 with a chain 2. Again, this is nothing new. You're going to start your double crochet, and then before you finish, you're going to pause, and we're going to go ahead and insert our elastic. So you want to have at least 1 inch or your fingertip left out so that the elastic doesn't slip out of the base. And you're going to place it in between your hook and the working yarn. Then you're going to finish your double crochet as normal. I do kind of hold on to that tail piece just to make sure it doesn't pull through, because if it pulls through, you'll have to redo this entire round. And here you see me pulling it out a little bit just for security. I've had my elastic fall through one too many times. And if it falls through, like I said, you'll have to repeat the whole round. But now you're just going to continue to double crochet, 1 double crochet in each stitch, the same as we did for round 6 through 11. And you're doing 1 double crochet in each stitch, and you're crocheting over the elastic as if it was a yarn tail. So the same way we crochet over our yarn tails if we're changing colors and whatnot is the same way you're going to be crocheting over your elastic. 1 double crochet in each stitch. Okay, guys, this is what the ruffle hat base will look like at the end of round 12 after we've added our elastic. I'm going to try it on and show you guys, because I know people say that sometimes the base is not big enough for them. You want, when you're doing a ruffle hat, you do not want the base to be like at your eyebrows and below. That's going to make the ruffles just drag and be too long and covering your face. Unless you're doing like a sun hat, you don't want it that low. So you want it to be sitting like maybe 1 inch above your eyebrows. Also, if you find that this pattern is too small or too tight for your head, the ruffles will, depending on how many stitches you do, it will spread out the base. That's why we do the elastic, so it's not super duper loose once you do your ruffles. However, if you find that you want to make it bigger, I would say in round 6, do another round of increase. And then in round 7 through 11, no increase. And then around 12, no increase, and add your elastic, and you'll come out with the base similar to this one, just a little bigger in size. Thank y'all for watching my YouTube video. Comment and let me know what other videos you want to see, and I will see you guys later. Toodles.